All praise is due to Allah, who illuminated hearts with the light of prophethood, and made the biography of the Chosen One, peace be upon him, a guiding light in the darkness. In this episode of the series, This is the Beloved, we will delve into the depths of the narrations that spoke about the day of his blessed birth, peace be upon him, and uncover how the scholars and monks were anticipating the rise of his noble star. And we shall begin the 14th part with the blessing of Allah. The priests and monks, on the day of his birth, peace be upon him, Abdul Muttalib carried him until he reached the Kaaba. The door was opened for him, and he entered while carrying him. Then he came out and circumambulated it, filled with joy, repeating and saying, "All praise is due to Allah, who granted me this boy. I seek refuge for him with the house of the firm pillars from every envious one." Then he returned to Amina and handed him over to her, saying to her, "Take good care of him." Then Abdul Muttalib rushed to the Christian monk, to confirm the matter with him. The people of the book, the priests and monks, were all awaiting his birth during the month of his birth. They had signs of the appearance of his star and his attributes, and that his birth would be in Mecca. So the birth of the Prophet, peace be upon him, was not a surprise. Rather, many among the people of the book knew about it. The monks, the Christian religious scholars, the rabbis, the Jewish religious leaders. In our religion, Islam, there is no such thing as men of religion. We have only a scholar or a learner. There is no hierarchical order in Islam resembling military ranks. In Islam, perhaps a disheveled, dusty man turned away from doors. If he swore by Allah, he would fulfill his oath. In Islam, a Bedouin enters upon the Prophet, peace be upon him, while he is sitting on the ground with people, and asks, "Which one of you is Muhammad?" In Islam, there is no intermediary between you and Allah, and when my servants ask you about me, I am indeed near. I respond to the call of the caller when he calls upon me. Surah 2, verse 187. So Abdul Muttalib went to confirm with the Christian monk, about this newborn, as he hoped that this child would have a great significance. Who is the monk? A man who came from the lands of Ash-Sham to Mecca, a monk from the Christians, who lived on the outskirts of Mecca in a hermitage. His name was and he was the sole reference in Christian knowledge at that time. When the time of the Prophet's birth, peace be upon him, drew near, he came to Mecca awaiting his birth. Lived on the outskirts of Mecca. He would enter Mecca periodically, sit in the gatherings of Quraysh. We said that the gatherings were around the Kaaba, where men would meet and talk. The monk, would enter the gatherings of Quraysh and their markets and ask, "O people of Quraysh, has a child been born among you? He has such and such attributes." They would reply to him, "O the one you describe has not been born yet." So would say to them, "By the Lord of Musa and Isa, I did not leave the lands of wine and yeast," referring to Ash-Sham and its blessings, "and come here, except in search of this child, for this is the time of his appearance. He will be born in your land," that is Mecca. "He is the seal of prophets and messengers, and with him the laws will be concluded. Whoever obeys him will be guided, and whoever disobeys him will fail and lose." Every now and then he would pass by and ask them, and they would tell him about children who had been born, describing them to him. He would say, No, that's not him." So, on the first day of his birth, peace be upon him, on the morning of that day, when he was born, peace be upon him, and his grandfather carried him and circumambulated the Kaaba, and saw the attributes of the child, and returned him to his mother, entrusting her with him. Abdul Muttalib remembered the monk and wanted to go to him to confirm the news. Abdul Muttalib rushed to the hermitage of When he reached the hermitage, he began calling, said to him, "Be his father, O Sheikh of Mecca." Abdul Muttalib, surprised, asked, "Who?" Replied, "The one I had told you about has been born. By the Lord of Musa and Isa, it is a pain he will endure for 3 days, then he will recover," meaning this newborn would suffer from some illness. "Guard your tongue, O Abdul Muttalib," meaning do not speak about him to anyone, for no one is envied as he is envied. meaning if people knew about him, envious individuals would seek to harm him, and if he were to face any misfortune, they would rejoice in his suffering. And beware of the Jews, for they will plot against him as they plotted against the prophets before him. Meaning, the Jews were known to be the killers of prophets, and if they heard about him, they would kill him, just as they killed prophets before him. Abdul Muttalib said, "O Is, a son has been born to my son, Abdullah, who passed away months ago." Is replied, "It is he, O Abdul Muttalib, it is he. By the Lord of Musa and Isa, we find in our books that he will be born an orphan. Guard your tongue and take care of him." There are many reports about the Jewish rabbis and Christian monks knowing about the day of his birth and his attributes. But we suffice with the story of the monk Is, and it is enough for us the saying of Allah about them. Those to whom we have given the book recognize him as they recognize their own sons, but a group of them conceal the truth while they know. Surah 2 verse 146. To be continued, Insha'Allah. And with this, we come to the end of part 14 of the Pure Prophetic Biography. We will meet again soon, Allah willing, with part 15. So stay tuned. This seerah was written by the humble servant in need of Allah, Al-Anwar Al-Muhammadiyah. It is your duty to spread the seerah of your Prophet, peace be upon him. Perhaps you will meet him at the blessed fountain while he is pleased with you, and this will be a reward written for you.